In this session of RapidMiner tutorial, I'm going to show you which version of RapidMiner to install and some basic introduction and know-hows of RapidMiner. So go to rapidminer.com and you can click on download, and download page will take you to a window where you have to log in. I'm already logged in. I've already logged in to my account, and once you log in you should see this downloads window page, and then you want to download RapidMiner version 5.3 this is an open source community version. It's completely free and it's no longer maintained. It's you can install the Windows or the Macintosh version. Alright, so I'm going to open RapidMiner and I'm going to create a new process here. And when you create a new process, as you can see here, there are a lot of small windows in the RapidMiner. I'm going to walk you over what these windows mean. So in the top left hand corner is the operators windows, where you can drag and drop any of the icons, any of the operators that you want to start building this. You have the import icon where you can read the CSV file, read AML, XML, any sort of information. Similarly, you can export here. You have all the write CSV and operators. You have all the modeling operators, the text processing operators, the evaluation operators, so on and so forth. Bottom left, you have the repositories where you have when you create a script, you can save. If I save the script, you can save it to the repository, the local repository. And how you do that is by you right click on the repository and do a configure repository, and you can direct it to the local disk in whichever folder you want. Okay. And then you have the main process window where you drag and drop all the icons, the operators. And then this is the parameter window where you can configure these the operators that you put in the main process window, where you start scripting the model or statistical processing that you're going to do. And here is the configuration window for all of those. So for read CSV, you can delete this semicolon and do a comma. Because we're going to read a CSV file. If it's a comma separated file, you have to make sure that it is comma. By default, it's a semicolon here. And the window here in the right bottom corner is the help window for all the operators that you put in here. And finally, the window here is basically, it gives you any sort of error. For in this case, it's saying CSV is undefined, set mandatory parameter CSV file, read CSV. The location of the error is read CSV. So this error will go away if I import a file. I'm using the empty a cars dataset. I'm going to show you what the dataset is, and you see the error is gone here. Result, run it. The dataset is written, and the other information that I want to show you is switching between the results perspective and the design perspective and the results perspective. This is the results perspective and this is the design perspective, and then you have the play, stop, pause button, and the usual windows, creating a new process, open a new file, save, and so on and so forth. The file that I'm using here is going to be an open source data set that I downloaded from the internet, and it is a data set of cars and miles per gallon based on the different specifications of the car engine. So we have different car models, we have the miles per gallon, the cylinder, displacement, horsepower, so on and so forth. So from the last session where Simon left off, he built a linear regression model, and then he built a model and he showed how to do the complete process. And now the objective of this video session is to show how to score a new data set on the model, a linear regression model that is being built. So the data set that I'm going to use is an open source data set. It's a cost information like I showed you. It has we're going to predict the miles per gallon of a car based on the cylinder, displacement, gears, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to build a linear regression model. I already did. I'm just going to open it, the model that was built, And what I'm going to, let me just delete more, this one's confusing. Okay, so this is the linear regression model that I already built. This is the data that I read in. This is the cars data set that I'm reading in with the CSV. This is the empty cars data set. And what I'm doing here is I'm using the split data operator. I'm using the split data operator to split the data set into 50 and 50%. So this is the parameters window. I go in here and change it to 50% and 50%. So 50% of the data is used for training the model and 50% of the data is used for testing the model. So I'm using the training data set into the linear regression model. I built the model is being fed into the apply model. The reason I'm using here is it's basically scoring to testing the model that is built in the linear regression and finding how the model is performing on the testing data set. And this performance is basically a metric to determine how the model is an operator to determine how the linear regression model is performing. So this is the performance regression that I'm dropping here, that I'm using here, and then I'm using only the R-squared, which is the squared correlation. I'm going to hit the run button, and now we have written half of the data set, that is 50% of the data set, in the example in the data window, and the performance is showing the squared correlation, which is the R-squared is 80.8, which is 88% accuracy. This is a very good score. The higher the R-squared, the higher the R-squared, or the R-squared which is closer to 1 means the model is a better model. Fine. So now we built the model, and now what we're going to do is we need to save this model. We need to write this model into a file, or you can. So what I'm going to do is keep it. I'm going to write it here. So I'm going to write it in my local disk. Results and empty model, empty underscore model. That's where I'm going to write my model. So I'm going to run this model again, and what is happening is this linear regression model that I built and I tested on the training is being saved into as a model. And now is the process where you read the model, and what you're going to do is score the model on a new data set. So this is the read model, the model that I saved in the location empty cars, empty underscore model. I'm reading in the model. I'm reading the CSV file, which is a new data set that is a new data set that I'm scoring against the model that is being built, and then I'm applying the model. So you connect these things and they apply the model, then I'm going to score the model. So what we are going to predict here is I built a linear regression model on the miles per gallon. Y is the miles per gallon and X is the different variables. I built a model and I'm going to score the model on the new data set. I'm trying to predict what is the miles per gallon of the new data set based on the different engine parameters, that is cylinder, horsepower, weight of the car, gear ratio, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to run the model, and this is the model that I built. And as you know that QSEC is the highly significant. Next significant is gear, weight, and the other information parameter model coefficients parameters here. So we won't worry about this right now. So the only thing that we are looking here is the score data set. So this is the predicted miles per gallon for the new data set based on the number of cylinders, displacement, horsepower, D ratio, weight, so on and so forth. So this is the predicted miles per gallon for this information. As you can see here, 6-cylinder engine, 110 horsepower, gives 22 miles per gallon. Let's find a car this gives a lower miles per gallon, 11. This is 8-cylinder, 460 displacement, 215 horsepower. The weight of the car is 5.24. I don't know what that means. And the QSEC is higher. So basically has the cylinder, the horsepower, the displacement, the ratio, and weight of the car increases, the miles per gallon drops. So the video that I'm showed here is basically a linear regression model is being built, the model was saved, and then we have a new data set, and the new data set is being scored on the linear regression model that was built from the old data set. And in the next session, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you how to pre-process the data even before we start loading the data into the model building process. And thank you very much. Thanks, bye.